Hey, this is Mark with the Practical Still. It's time to open up another bottle. This one's going to be really good, I hope. So in the last podcast Dan and I recorded, he opened up one of these same club picks. This is EWS Colorado exclusive. I have to admit, I don't know what EWS is. I bought this at a super cool liquor store in Arvada, Colorado called Spirits, Wine, and Provisions. Dan frequents that place a lot. He's a local there. So it's kind of his home liquor store. The owner there, Casey, just super guy, finds all the great stuff for us, contributes a lot to the local clubs. So that was release number 5. It's a Tennessee. So great thing about Barrell, I think we've figured out I like Barrell, what they do. They do some cool stuff with whiskey, though they don't distill anything. They find really cool whiskeys. The one Dan opened was release number 5. I remembered that about a year and a half ago, I bought one too. Turns out it's release number 2. But the key piece and the thing that made me want to bring this one out is on the back of all Barrell releases, they give you the states of distillation on the whiskey. This one is 100% from Tennessee, and at the age this is, which is 14 years, you know it's a Dickel produced product. And if you've watched any of these videos or listened to the podcast, you know I like Dickel produced whiskeys. So Dan and I were just blown away by the number 5 release. That's all Tennessee whiskey. And I think, I snuck a few Dickels in on Dan. Excuse me, it just makes me laugh when I say that, on some blind tastings. And he didn't quite know what to think of it. But boy, when you get to the point that you've got a barrel-proof, unfiltered, Dickel-produced whiskey that's in excess of 10 years, boy, those are some good whiskeys if you like that stuff. And I know some people just knock on it, but I love the profile. It is unique among whiskeys. When Dan poured that first one during the podcast, there was no doubt in my mind. I could smell it when he poured it. It was Dickel whiskey, and I loved it. Anyway, it made me want to open this guy. And hopefully, Dan and I'll get together tomorrow and produce other podcasts. Of course, by the time you listen to this, it would have happened a month ago. But I wanted to open this one so that we can take this one tomorrow, taste it with the number 5 release, and see if we're as blown away by this one as we were. What can you do to taste this if you don't live in Colorado? Well, Barrell does a lot of these releases, and they source a lot of whiskey out of Tennessee. You can pretty much bet anything over, 4 or 5 years old. If it's distilled in Tennessee, it probably came from Dickel. So find another one of these Barrell releases that if you look on the back, it says state of distillation Tennessee. You're going to be in the right range. This one's 14 years old. It's 111.81 proof. I don't know. I like Dickel whiskey. It's nice and dark. I can't wait to open it, so let's do that and find out what we got. And thank you, Barrell, for not using wax. It's 2 little pieces of kind of dense paper that I have to get through, and love that sound. That's Dickel whiskey. Oh my God. And look, I know some people smell that, and they smell Flintstone vitamins, and I get where they're coming from, but there's other things. It's pecans and vanilla, and so I, full disclosure, I live in Colorado now. I grew up in the South in Alabama, and geez, that smells like my mom's pecan pie. It's just fabulous. Oh. And to me, still, I don't know why, but the best nose of a whiskey it's just right out of the bottle. I guess I need a glass with a tiny little opening at the top. Oh, God, that's good. The color is fabulous. It is a rusty, coppery color. It's just glorious. Oh. That's really good. Boy, if you like the Dickel profile, seek out some of the Barrell releases where they've sourced some whiskey from Tennessee. Now, a lot of them you'll find on the back of the label 2 or 3 states of distillation. So I know I had batch 17 of the Barrell Bourbon release, which was Tennessee, Indiana, Kentucky whiskey. It had a little of the Dickel profile in it, but it was dominated by the other. Sometimes I say infected by some Indiana whiskey. Not the same. If you like Dickel, you want something aged. I've got the first release of the George Dickel bottled in bond release. It was 13 years old, but it's at 100 proof. It's more than the one barrel. I think it was certainly chill filtered, just like all the other, and run through the Lincoln County process, like all Tennessee whiskey is. I think that not all of the whiskey they produce is Lincoln County processed. And for those that don't know, Lincoln County process, once the whiskey's distilled, before it goes in the barrel, it goes through a series of charcoal filters. At Dickel, I believe it's 13 feet of charcoal that it filters through, and then a big thick material that filters more out. I don't think all the whiskey's done that way. I don't know for sure. But there is just such a different mouthfeel that's beyond what you'd expect just from the difference in proof between a 100 proof bottled in bond and 120 some odd proof bottle like this. There's also a huge difference in the color, which could certainly be owed to age. But again, I've got a bottle of the, if we look at these two whiskeys, I mean, they're pretty close. They're pretty close in color. But when you hold this guy up to the light, I mean, it's got a level of color to it that isn't in this bottle. So I wonder if there's more than just age. It could be just age. It could all go through the Lincoln County process. I don't know, and nobody will ever tell us. But what I do know is if you get a chance to buy one of these that's unfiltered, it may have been filtered through the Lincoln County process, but at least at the end, like the Dickel whiskey, it didn't get chilled and filtered again. So give that a try. That's how you can get close to this if you don't live in Colorado and get one of these EWS releases. It's absolutely fabulous. If you don't like Dickel whiskey, don't buy anything from Barrell that's got Tennessee on the back, because you won't like it because it comes from Dickel. But I like it. Dan's a convert. We're going to, next time we get together to record a podcast, we're going to drink this guy up against his release number 5. We'll let you know, frankly, I'm telling you right now, the glass, I think his is better. The number 5, I think, is more intoxicating than this one. But obviously, more research is needed. So let me know what you think. If you've had some well-aged Tennessee whiskey that probably came from Dickel, put a note in the comments. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you like what we're doing. Let us know with a thumbs up or a thumbs down if we're doing this right and what we could do better. Check out the Practical Still podcast on iTunes or any of the popular platforms. And chime in. Tell me what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. Cheers.